Hey guys, it's Daniel from Gadget Blur, and this will be my first video on the new YouTube channel. And today I'm going to bring you a review of the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. Sleek, stylish, and gold. I hope you guys really enjoy my video review of the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. The first thing you notice when you pick up this phone is the big, beautiful, and curved display, and rightfully so. This is a flagship and has the highest pixel density in the fleet, with a pixel density of 577 pixels per inch and a resolution of 1440 by 2560. Is the Edge really worth it? Well, that depends. There's some Edge features that are kind of gimmicky, like People Edge. That's something that you could easily throw on a normal, non-curved phone, and it wouldn't make any difference. But there's other things like watching videos that are much more immersive when you have a curved display and non-existent bezels. Also, scrolling is much easier. If you look on the side there, imagine doing Edge scrolling with like the little alphabetized list. It is a lot easier. And for that reason, I think it's worth it, and for video watching. Aside from the display, how does this phone look? Well, the answer is, it looks nice. Even though you got rid of the removable back from the last Galaxy S, I think it was worth it. It made a really nice looking phone, and it's really nice to hold in the hand, and while it is a bit of a fingerprint magnet, I think it makes up for it in that really nice shiny back. I picked up the gold platinum color Galaxy S6 Edge, and in my opinion, that's the nicest looking phone. And again, it's kind of a fingerprint magnet, but definitely makes up for it. It looks really nice, and I can't really complain. I wear a case on it most of the time because of what I put my phone through on a daily basis, but it still looks good with the case on too. So how does this phone perform in everyday use? Well, in a while I'll switch over to a screen cap so you don't have to watch me record the screen, but as you can see here in the video, the fingerprint scanner, super accurate. That's something I'll use every day, and I have been using every day for the past month, and I don't think I can live without it now. If I had to get a new phone, it would have to be one with a fingerprint scanner. We're seeing it more and more in phones, and that's mostly a part to the iPhone 5S, I believe it was the first phone to bring in the fingerprint scanner and make it good. But I think this is even an improvement because it's very snappy, and there's no like, yeah, retry again. Like, it's super accurate, and you can program multiple fingerprints. Also, the phone is very snappy in the UI. You know, TouchWiz has had some upgrades, and now it's really close to stock. And close, like, it's not obviously the same as stock. I'd say it's the farthest OS from stock, you know, TouchWiz, but it's just not as bad as it was with all the bloatware. You're actually hard pressed to find bloatware on this OS. Alright guys, that's enough talk about the camera. Let's check out some photos I took with it. Thanks to that 16 megapixel sensor, all photos taken on the Galaxy S6 Edge are always crisp and clear. Color reproduction is very good too, and I've never had any trouble in low light with grainy photos at all. The S6 Edge camera interface is also quite a pleasure to use. It has many different features and shooting modes. The ones that come pre-installed are Pro Mode, Panorama, Selective Focus, Slow Motion, Fast Motion, and Virtual Shot, and also Auto, obviously. If these shooting modes aren't quite enough for you, there's lots more shooting modes available on the Galaxy App Store. My only problem with the Samsung Galaxy S6 camera was that Photosphere didn't come pre-installed. This was something I had to use the Google camera for, and that was still okay, but I really do like the camera interface, so I'd rather have it built right in from the start. But the add-on is available in the Samsung Galaxy App Store for people like me who just like to take the occasional Photosphere. Alright guys, I think it's time we get some hands-on with TouchWiz and switch over to screen cap view. Guys, I know vertical videos are a sin. You know what, you can just like hate on me all in the comments. I don't even care, because I got a Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge, and it's got a 5.1 inch screen that has a resolution of 1440 by 2560, and at that resolution and size, this thing got the highest pixel density in the fleet, coming in at 577 pixels per inch. This guy has a 16 megapixel rear facing camera that's capable of recording 4K at 30 FPS and 1440p at 30 FPS and 1080p at 60 FPS. And the back facing, front facing camera, or the selfie cam as people call it, is a 5 megapixel camera that is not capable of recording 4K. No. Is capable of recording 1440p though, which is still pretty good for a selfie cam. 2600 milliamp hour battery, but I don't need to charge it more than overnight. But in fact, I don't even need to charge it overnight because of the fast charger built in. And this fast charger absolutely lives up to its name. It charges from empty to full in about 1 hour, and I'm not even lying. I think this thing, after using it for a month, I could never go back. I could never go back from not having a fingerprint scanner, or not having this multitasking, or not having that huge battery and that fast charging capabilities. This thing burns through everyday tasks like a boss. Like this, the multitasking, super useful. I don't know, I just wouldn't be able to go without it. Yeah, so that's about it for what I have here. Notice how there's no bloatware. That's because it's really easy to get rid of now with the new TouchWiz. They fixed it up. I think it's fine. I think that the amount of features that are on here are phenomenal, and I'm willing to let it off with the fact that it's TouchWiz. One of the largest complaints I hear about the Galaxy S6 Edge is its battery life. While Samsung really did sacrifice battery performance for form factor, let's face it, at only 7mm thick, it is really difficult to argue with Samsung's decision to go with the smaller battery. While I have noticed relatively poor battery life compared to other devices, the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge always seems to get me through the day on a single charge. Depending on how heavily I use the device, by the end of the day I'm usually left with around 20 to 30% battery life remaining. The battery life on the GS6 Edge would certainly be unforgivable if it wasn't for the adaptive fast charging block included in the box. This is really the battery's only saving grace, and it has got me out of a jam many a time after having binge-watched Gadget Blur for 5 hours and then realizing I have to go somewhere. You know Samsung is really trying to justify their decision to reduce the battery life when they release a battery saving mode that basically bricks the phone. But in Samsung's defense, it does allow you to use your calculator in grayscale for 12 days straight. Now I want to talk a bit about how this phone feels in the hand. One of the biggest reasons I made the Edge my daily driver as opposed to the normal GS6 is because as a result of the curved display, the left and right side bezels are half the thickness of the phone. I immediately fell in love with this feature as it makes the phone feel incredibly thin while holding it in portrait. Unfortunately, it's not all good. Samsung went with a glass backplate this time around, and while it is quite stylish, it's not at all practical. It's very slippery in the hand, and I find that it's really easy to drop, and I guarantee the first thing to break when you drop this on the concrete will be the glass backplate. I want to get into some pros and cons of the Galaxy S6 Edge, and on my device, I've never experienced any thermal throttling of any kind. However, the first con is that the phone does get pretty warm in the hand if you're doing anything like recording, gaming, or doing any large amount of downloading. Also, web browsing if you're on data. The second con is since Samsung went with the sealed glass backplate, which admittedly does look better, I keep missing the old Band-Aid on the S5 because of its expandable storage, removable battery, and obvious things. If you haven't heard about the fact that there's no removable battery or expandable storage, I could forgive those other cons if it wasn't for this last one, and this is the big one for me. So sit back, because this one needs a backstory. I definitely need something on my device to protect it, just for what I put my phone through on a daily basis. Right now I have a screen protector on it, and I have a folio case. However, this would be all well and good, except for the fact that the curved display on the Edge makes it a nightmare to apply screen protectors and keep them on. Every time I put on a tight-fitting case, after a screen protector was applied, it lifts up the corners of the screen protector with the edges because the case really likes to hug the edge of the phone. And whenever you apply a new screen protector, you need to hold it there or tape it there for at least an hour before it can actually adhere to the corners of the device without lifting on its own and collecting dust underneath. Basically, trying to protect the Galaxy S6 Edge with screen protectors, cases, and things like that is a nightmare. Even finding a case for this was extremely difficult. I got this folio case that I'm using right now at my carrier store, and not only is it a horrible low quality case, but folio cases are ugly. I picked up an OtterBox, but the best OtterBox I could get my hands on was an OtterBox Symmetry, because they just don't make them yet for the Galaxy S6 Edge anyway. They only make them for the normal GS6. So if you're someone that puts their phone through hell, don't get the S6 Edge. It's not worth all of the ordering cases online and trying to find a decent rigid screen protector that will actually stay on the phone. It's just not worth it. Now, this isn't to say that it can't be done. I have picked up this clear Insignia case. It still shows off the gold glass backplate and beautiful side bezels of platinum, and it still keeps the phone nice and thin. And even better, I can put a screen protector over it, unlike any other case ever. Does it really protect the phone? Not a whole lot, only from scratches. But I still wanted to preserve the look of the phone, because why else do you buy a Galaxy S6 Edge? One of the most promising selling points of the Galaxy S6 is definitely its camera. It has a 16 megapixel rear-facing camera that is able to record 4K and 1440p at 30 fps, 1080p at 60 fps. This phone has a 5 megapixel selfie cam that is capable of recording 1440p and 1080p, both at 30 fps. Even after using this phone for over a month, I still have so much fun with the camera, and I'm still so surprised at the pictures and videos that it records. This camera is truly the gift that keeps on giving. Capturing memories has never been so easy with the 16 megapixel rear-facing camera. Recording at 60 fps is always just a treat, and it's really eye-catching. The curved 1440p display of the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge not only has an amazing high resolution and super high pixel density, but it's also amazing because that curved display, while there is some gimmicky features like People Edge, personally I think it's there for immersion. And when you put this phone up against a non-curved phone, you can really tell, because the screen really tends to pop out at you. As you can see, I ran the Antutu benchmark, and the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge scored a whopping 44,790 and pulled just ahead of the HTC One M8 and the Huawei Mate 7. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe to the Gadget Player YouTube channel. This is Daniel signing out.